What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode 2 of the All-Star Sports Show. We got all the sports covered. But before we get into it, guys, make sure you hit that like button, also hit that subscribe button. That being said, first things first, let's just get the biggest elephant out of the room out of the way. And obviously, we're not going to miss.
We're not going to get into that first. There's an even bigger elephant that came out today.
All right, lay it on there.
Minnesota Vikings fans are under fire for racist messages towards running back Alexander Madison. Yeah. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Minnesota nice. We're nice people. Yeah, right. Give me a break. Racist messages towards the running back for a bad game?
Apparently so.
Are you kidding me? Are you?
It's
stupid. You guys are dumb.
Yeah,
he had a bad game. Yes, he deserves a little bit of criticism. Doesn't mean you need to be racist towards the guy.
Shit, this is why a lot of times, even pretty much majority of the NFL fan bases laugh at you because pretty much laugh at the Vikings because, they act like complete idiots. I almost caught myself there, almost dropped an F-bomb, but
the fact that you guys preach, oh, we're nice people. Oh, we show kindness. We do this. No, you don't. If you're being racist, guess what? Newsflash, idiots, you're not kind.
No, it really isn't.
You're not even nice. You are, quote unquote, buttholes. I had another word lined up, but you're buttholes.
Pretty much.
Because you guys are you're idiots.
It's getting to the point where it's like, we're all, let's be real. I think the Vikings fan base deserves to be called out on this crap because, first of all, should be zero tolerance for what at all. But, hey, like I said.
And I had more things lined up in my notes to talk about until this came out today.
Oh, yeah.
This is breaking from earlier today. I woke up around, I would say 2 o'clock to that. Yes, I had another late start. Don't fight me. All right, fight me if you roast me over that. Fight me, but yeah, I woke up this afternoon to that, to the fact that Vikings fans are under fire for racism. I go, what's this about? And then I look into it. Alexander Madison's getting racist messages over a bad game.
Yeah, that's really, really uncalled for, quite honestly.
But now, since now that my rage is high, let's talk about another thing that made me angry. A second elephant in the room, shall we? There's 2 elephants in the room. 2. And this is also a big freaking elephant, all right?
And we had a colleague of ours already had his rant on,
and he was rightfully angry
about this.
He was PO'd. He was full on PO'd. I'm going to say the full word. But yeah, Kevin Porter Jr.
is now faces domestic violence charges, and quite honestly, what a scumbag! I'm not going to really sugarcoat it.
He ain't going to sugarcoat it, and that's like the most PG word to even use there.
Scumbag, coward. There's a lot of other words to really describe it.
He's a coward. He's a moron. He's a scumbag. He's scum of the earth for this.
And here's the
Hold on, let me finish my rant. Hold on before you speak, man. He's a scumbag. He is the scum of the earth. And I hope he rots in prison for as long as they keep him there. He needs to be kicked out of the league. He needs to be kicked the heck out. You beat up with your girlfriend? Are you kidding me, Kevin Porter Jr.? Are you kidding me?
And what's also crazy about that is the fact she was sleeping. So this was unprovoked.
She was sleeping and you hit her.
Yeah, to the point where it's like almost like beat her. Like let's be real, like assault her to almost every single inch of her life.
Yeah,
gets a cut right above
the eyebrow. No, he wasn't trying to just beat her, guys. He was trying to murder her. Are you kidding me?
And what's also crazy about that too, I've seen some Sean Bradley actually put this out on his Twitter. It's like even he's discussing of how male athletes are treating their spouses.
Everybody in the sports world does not like Kevin Porter Jr. right now. And exactly. That one commenter is right. What kind of person does this?
And what's also crazy is too, this is not the only instance that Kevin Porter Jr. has become an issue. He has a history of off the court issues. Like during the time when I think I read something about it when he had a DJ come out like a party, like he smashed the DJ's laptop. Like he has a history of off the court issues in Kevin Porter Jr. So this is not the first instance.
He needs to go to prison for a while. He needs anger management. And that man needs to have his job taken away from him. His dream job taken away.
Quite honestly, he's already screwed up anyway. So, I mean, dream job or not.
Dude, he is sick in the head. He's sick in the head. How do you just randomly, okay, I'm just laying in my bed, my girlfriend's, oh, you know what I want to do? I want to hit my girlfriend until she dies. That's what his mindset. The guy's sick in the head.
Very. But I mean, look, and the fact, I mean, look, kudos to the Rockets to really are working to getting rid of that head case from the organization, because I don't think really the Rockets really need that right now. First of all, they already dealt with 2 head cases already. They already dealt with how James Harden walked his way out of Houston.
But James Harden, that was just, contract, whatever. But this is a different thing. So I'm not even going to talk about James Harden in this scenario. Well, this guy is worse than James Harden. Way worse when it comes to how he is in the league.
And shout out to Dante.
James Harden isn't going out there beating women.
And this guy is. I'll give a huge shout out to Coach Dante, because he pretty much had our PG-13 to more or less PG rant than what we're bringing on.
No. But here's the thing: we didn't even say an F-bomb. We didn't say one word, so we're still PG.
But I'm just saying,
we're just calling this guy a moron. We're coming at his throat right now. We're saying,
and rightfully so. I think. And Steve, we're talking about Kevin Porter Jr., an absolute scumbag. It decides to lay his hands on a significant other to the point where
you don't do that ever. I don't care if you're an athlete. I don't care if you're an actor, an actress. I don't care if you're famous. If you got loads of money. If you're just an average Joe, you don't hit your significant other ever. Unless provoked.
There was no provocation. I mean, look.
Unless you're defending yourself, you don't hit anybody. You don't hit a female.
No,
you don't hit your significant other. But no, Kevin Porter Jr. hit his girlfriend who was asleep, and didn't provoke him. Are you kidding me? And she's running down the hallway fighting for her life.
Yeah, and the fact that where they lived at had security cameras. So without those security cameras, who knows at that point.
Without those security cameras, she most likely would have died. And he would have been booked for murder.
Well, so there's a little bit updates into this as well. This was from about an hour ago. So according to Fox News, this whole case. So pretty much obviously we know everybody's accused, but dude's only 23, and nobody really gives 2 shits about that.
And this isn't one of those cases where it's like, oh, we don't know if it's true. We gotta wait until the verdict. No. There's enough evidence there to know that he did this. There's security cameras. There's evidence. There's footage of this. And we've all seen the footage.
Yeah, I mean,
the guy's an idiot. He's a moron. He's an a-hole. All right? And he should be in prison, not in the NBA.
I mean,
and that's all I got to say about that.
You ain't wrong, man.
But did you read the rest of that report?
So apparently it was supposed, because right now, you know, they did originally, one of the charges that he's put was fake a second degree assault, obviously from a fractured vertebra, which I don't think. They did say that his girlfriend did have a congenital defect with her neck, so, but he might be conceding second degree assault for strangulation and a third degree assault charge as well. So yeah, either way, he's screwed.
Either way, what that means, second degree assault and third degree assault, he was aiming to kill her.
Pretty much.
That was pretty much what those charges mean. He was aiming to kill her.
It's bad enough that her sister actually put out a warning. This was from a day ago that Gonzadrik, I apologize, Gondrazik's sister, literally, her sister sent Kevin Porter Jr. a public warning after this incident.
Dude, that's quality sister, because if I was that person's sibling, if it was one of my siblings going through that, you better watch yourself. I know I can't fight, but I'll for sure freaking try.
So this is basically what she said in her Instagram story. According to her sister, it says, "At Kevin Porter Jr., if you think you're going to touch my sister and not get touched, count your effing days. Better hope you pray you'll be able to walk alone or walk again, let alone dribble. You may would have got away with this crap in the past because your mama ain't beat your rear end, but we spanked little punk." Oh, jeez. She went on and explained
No. Here's the thing. I don't even want to hear the rest of that tweet, because
it's
he's after, dude. Kevin Porter Jr., you are screwed. If you get out of this scot-free, that sister's gonna find a way to get to you and hurt you bad, and I hope she does.
Imagine what
I hope she does.
I wonder if she has any brothers, because you know how brothers are very overprotective of their sisters. Or
the heck with the brothers, the sisters. Oh my, that sister is in terms here. I'm gonna say this. This is the first curse word I'm going to say here. All right, Jake, forgive me.
That was here.
Jake, hold on, Jake, forgive me. That sister, and I'm gonna curse here, is a badass. All right.
Oh,
to defend your sister like that, who got beaten up within an inch of her life by by Kevin Porter Jr., who was a total idiot for this.
Well, see, and here's where the hypocrisy shows a little bit too, because her sister is no stranger to domestic abuse cases. For those who don't remember, she was also the one who got arrested for abusing the late Dwayne Haskins. But
then again, you're an idiot too. So you're not a badass. I take it back.
So yes. So yeah.
The fact that here's the problem with this. I thought, yeah, she's awesome for what you're saying. The fact that you did the same shit
back in 2021.
But then again though, she probably was like, all right, I shouldn't have did what I did. I'm going to advocate for this. That was 2021. We're in 2023. So she might have been like, I kind of was a dickhead.
In a way, yeah, but
in a way, she's probably trying to rectify the whole thing, because Dwayne Haskins is passed away, and I don't know if she has another significant other, and she's doing the same thing to her new significant other, or not. I don't know. I don't know if she had changed her ways. But I don't know. Because we don't know what happens behind closed doors with the sister.
especially in their personal lives too.
Like the sister, like yeah, the Dwayne Haskins thing that was very, very, public, and yeah, she was a jerk for that. She should have been in prison for that. But the thing is, people do change sometimes, and hopefully she did. Hopefully this was a lesson for her. My sister went through the same thing that I had caused. Dwayne Haskins. So I'm kind of a douchebag. She probably saw that. And now she's defending her sister and advocating for that.
But also,
hopefully that's the case.
But I also got to say this too. Shout out to the hotel security. Well, let's be real. They were right in the right place at the right time to really help out Kayseri Gonzadrek. Obviously was one of the top with the first I'm not say first overall, but a first round pick by the Fever. And so it's
this whole situation is just scary. Not only for the family of this woman, all right, but it's scary for her. We don't know if Kevin Porter Jr. is going to get booked or not. He was arrested.
I mean, right now,
you know how these celebrities, these celebrity things go. Like they always get off scot-free.
Or at least get a slap on the wrist, and it really ticks off most of us normal Joes.
It ticks off the everyday folk who aren't famous. Because you're like, okay, because unless you have all this money, if you have all this money, you can get off scot-free from anything. You can get away with murder. And it irritates a lot of people.
But yeah,
why can't you treat everybody the same? If they murder somebody, they should be booked for murder. And they should get the same sentence as an average everyday person.
No, and also 100%.
Also the domestic violence thing. They always get a slap on the wrist.
It's like
look at Deshaun Watson, sexually assaulted 25 women. He's still playing in the dang league.
And I even said on record, like, this dude should at least get a year of suspension, at least.
No, he should be banned from the league and in prison. Sexually assaulting women, that's terrible.
Well, and the fact that it's not just, I mean, look, it may be 25 women, but overall, when the entire story came out, he saw over 60 plus women, but yet somehow like 25 of them somehow came out. So who knows the other, I can't think of the number right now. But then again,
when you have that and you're playing in the league, there's an issue with the justice system. There is an issue there. There's an issue with the league too. With how not as strict as they are with that, but yet you can ban somebody like a Josh Gordon for weed.
Yeah, for doing weed.
For freaking weed. But yet when somebody sexually assaults women, they're still playing. Look at Ben Roethlisberger.
Give you 11 games. It's like
look at Ben Roethlisberger. Had a Hall of Fame career after he did what he did.
And it really kind of turned out that was not well. I think he settled one case, but I think the other two from
one case it wasn't true. The second case came back and it was true. So yeah, it's
and
he was still playing in the league for years. And everybody and I admit fault for this too. Over time we did kind of forget about it.
I mean, the entire Ben Roethlisberger.
But that's our minds. We forget about everything that happens in years past.
Yeah, I mean, and that's or to think of this another instance, Marcell Ozuna from the MLB, barely served a suspension, but never got banned because he was also part of the domestic violence against his wife. Well, then again, that's more
exactly. I don't know why Ozuna's still playing in MLB.
And here's where the MLB showed us hypocrisy when you had guys like Trevor Bauer, who I think most people really like how.
But here's the thing. But here's that. Let me talk about that for a minute. That was literal. The Trevor Bauer thing was consensual. His girlfriend, quote unquote, liked it rough. And then she's like, "Oh, look at all the bruises. He hit me. He's abusive." No.
And what's also
y'all were doing the rough nasty. That's what really went on, and it came out that way.
And the fact that it wound up to be, and then the MLB found out about it, and there's a 2-year suspension for Trevor Bauer, and and there was evidence that all that crap was also falsified. So I mean, it's like
it wasn't just falsified; it was the fact that it was consensual sex, consensual rough sex. That's what it was. And it came out to be that way, and the man's still not in the league.
And right now he's playing over in Japan, and ever since then he's
what? It's consensual sex, and he's still not in the league. What?
And most I mean, even the commissioner, it's like Bauer's just one of those guys. It's like as entertaining as it is, but he's not really the most mostly by the commissioner, anyways, because because Trevor Bauer at times he has called out on the BS that Rob Manfred says that he's going to do.
Which rightfully so, because a lot of the Manfred has done a lot of stupid crap. But anyway, let's go back to football here for a minute, or for basketball. Kevin Porter Jr. I honestly think I'm not going to say count your days because of his sister. Count your days because the league don't like that. Count your days in the league.
Oh yeah,
it's over.
100%.
It's over for you.
Like the fact you also had a history of being an issue, that doesn't even help your case either. I'm sorry.
Because now you have this whole thing, and it ties into this because clearly, Kevin, you need anger management. Clearly. You're beating your girlfriend for no reason.
Yeah,
you're causing issues. Hold on, you're causing issues in the locker room due to anger that you possess. You don't need to be in the league. You need to be in therapy. You need to be in jail.
And speaking of which, too, this is also crazy, too, and I actually brought this up from CBS Sports. That obviously, when did this come out? This came out earlier a couple days ago, but there's one section when I originally read this. So, obviously, with Kevin Porter, not just from the violence side of, in the professional sense, back in college, he was suspended at USC. I think that might be Southern California.
University of Southern California.
Because you have two USC schools, you got Southern California and South Carolina. So I'm
pretty sure.
He went to
the California one, the Southern California one. Yeah.
But he was suspended at University of Southern California for 2 games for conduct issues. But in 2020, Porter was involved in a one car crash and charged with improper handling of a firearm and a motor vehicle, failure to control a motor vehicle, possession of marijuana. Back then, obviously marijuana was not legalized throughout the United States. So although these charges were dismissed, but the concerns surrounding him were not. So this all stems back from his days in college.
And we're not talking about the weed thing. The weed thing, whatever. We can throw that out, whatever. But the gun thing, and with the gun charge in the vehicle, and the fact that you have anger issues, something is telling me he was going to off somebody. He was going to off somebody.
Oh, trust me, there's more to it. Porter was moved out of Cleveland after a season after the Cavs drafted him in the first round. The reason, not talent. He has ample talent. Perhaps you guess why? Character issues. Even the Cavs saw the bullshit that was going on with him.
The Cavs saw that he had character issues, which he does. He does, and it all stems now. They were right. He has character issues.
Oh, he is crazy too. Here's another section of it.
He is a quote unquote a-hole.
Scumbag.
And he's a scumbag. Scum of the earth.
Look, there's no sugarcoating it.
No, there's not.
But here's another section, too. As USA Today's Jeff Zilgit, I apologize for butchering your last name, reported at the time, Porter Jr. apparently lost his cool during that 2020-21 season and began yelling and throwing things in the Cavs locker room after a trade brought in a new player and resulted in his own locker being moved.
Anger issues.
Oh,
that's exactly what I'm talking about right there. Anger issues.
Also, that in turn led to a confrontation with Cavs GM Kobe Altman. A short time later, Porter Jr. was traded to the Rockets, and trouble, as often as it does, followed.
Again, trading away baggage.
And then
let me tell you something. If he didn't beat his girlfriend, he probably would have been a journeyman basketball player.
Also, oh boy,
this team would sign him. He would have anger issues. The play would be affected. He gets traded. Same thing over and over and over and over until he eventually retires.
Quite honestly, and also if the Rockets had to do their own punishments. That's all I going to say. He was briefly suspended during the 2021-22 season after he reported altercation within Rockets head coach Steven Silas. Another locker room outburst. I'm not surprised about that. The NBA fined $50,000 in April 2021 for violating the league's health and safety rules. Obviously, it's still at the time we're still going through the pandemic at the time by visiting a Miami strip club. And now and obviously right now, yeah, exactly. Look, you can read this for yourself and just read articles on it. This dude has been nothing but trouble since college.
Exactly.
It's been well documented.
Nothing but trouble.
Almost had fighting head coaches. I mean, like I said,
the guy was fist fighting head coaches.
And almost fought the Cavs general manager. Do you know how stupid do you have to be to do that? Very goddamn stupid. I'm sorry. Exactly. I'm sorry why this dude even has not even a job.
Like, you are mind-numbingly stupid if you're out here fighting head coaches, fighting your GM. The guy who has the power to trade your butt. I almost said the other word.
You might as well. Yeah.
I'm not saying that because we're PG. I'm not gonna have that mindset, bro. But make it short before we got other topics to go through.
But all in all, props to the Houston Rockets trying to get rid of his ass. I'm sorry.
Props to the Houston police for getting there as fast as they did.
Security out
hotel security. Yeah, exactly. Shout out to the Houston police. Shout out to the hotel security. Y'all did wonders. You saved a person's life.
Exactly. But sticking with the NBA, I think this kind of really flew under the radar for some people. But the NBA, I know we have my different notes, but another one I think no one really talked about. NBA is now cracking down on load management going into this year.
Right, because you have guys. Oh, I can't play on national TV because I'm cramping from the lot. Shut up.
But the thing about it is, like, the NBA is mandating that two star players cannot rest. And
how about one? How about we start with one?
The one, right? If it's just one, I don't think the NBA would have none of it an issue with that. But if you have two or more,
that's the problem. We want no load management, none. And the star players have to play every single game. I don't care if it's an 82-game season. I don't care if it's a back-to-back, a certain couple of days. You're playing all your games. You have a job for a reason. This is your job. If anybody sat out their job, any average person sat out their job, they get fired.
Okay, so according to shout out to Bobby Marks, who actually put this out a couple of days ago, pretty much how how the NBA's new rules on wrestling trials will work. So Bobby Marks, when he wrote
they're not going to work. They're definitely not going to work. Oh, if it's two players, you're not going to.
Actually,
if it's two players, then that's not allowed. But if it's one person trying to just sit out a game, that's allowed. Whatever. Well, that's stupid.
I think I might have read that wrong. So this article goes on to say, when the NBA Board of Governors met on Wednesday, it adopted new rules regarding the resting of healthy players and attempt to curb the load management issues that become frequent in the league in recent years. I mean, boy, how many times we've been, how many times has NBA fans like us getting really aggravated? It's like, first of all, like the load. It's like, because we always said the NBA has become a soft league over the last. I would say like the last 5 to 10. I would say the last 10 years. If you think about it, in like the last decade.
I think here's the thing. It's all started when, I think it was like 2014, 2015. The league was getting softer because any like drive to the paint was a ticky tack foul.
Yeah, there's a lot of BS going on.
And that's why the NBA got as soft as it did, and it became a 3-point type of game where all you're doing is jacking up threes.
Well, and
it's because you literally cannot get into the paint with a defender there because it's a ticky-tack foul.
Yeah, and and as much as I know, and look, and that's one thing too. I think a lot of people kind of really criticize guys like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson because they kind of mostly Steph Curry anyways, because he's the one who.
I honestly don't. Here's the thing: you can criticize the players all you want. I'm criticizing Adam Silver. I'm criticizing the refs. Well, I'm not criticizing the refs because they're literally calling what they have to call. I'm criticizing Adam Silver.
That's true. Boy, first of all, I think we're
So you literally cannot. You literally cannot. Hold on, I got you, buddy.
But
But you literally cannot go into the paint with a defender there, because if he goes up at the same time and you somehow graze him, it's a shooting foul.
Yeah, and it's...
Are you kidding me?
And it's what's also crazy about that too. Like every single NBA fan always somehow will find valid excuse, not say excuses, but valid reasons to really blame Adam Silver for the way how the state of the NBA goes. I mean, look at under was it David Stern? Look at under David Stern the last
David Stern. He was great. He was great up until he retired.
And honestly, we go through at the early to mid 2000s, heck, even from like the late 90s to early 2000s. Like
he was there since the 80s, I think.
I think so. But still, like the state of the NBA says, like they focus on the simple fundamentals, old school driving through the paint.
And also, I liked it better then because the games weren't as high scoring, which would make for a little bit of a boring thing. But you had like 96-85 win or like 90 to like 80 something.
Yeah, even though high scoring, but they were very competitive games.
Why do you think I like the WNBA better? They're low scoring games, but they are fun to watch because these women can play the fundamental part of the game. You can't do that in the NBA anymore.
You really can't. I
mean, jack up threes or get a foul.
And
it's stupid.
But going on with this rest of the article, the NBA's competition committee recommended a plan that will ultimately give the league office authority for a greater oversight and discipline for missed games and ability to fine teams over $1 million for each instance. Okay, so I was wrong. So it could be
good. Good.
So
good. So basically, what's being said in the short term here, if the star players or anybody wants to miss a game, you can, but be prepared to pay $1 million.
Well, it also depends on too when that if there's no specific rest. Let's say, I don't know how the rest days work in the NBA. So, well, let's just say
get rid of rest days.
But if
you're there to do a job, play every single game. I don't care if it's an 82-game season. Yes, in baseball they have more of a lenient way because they play 162 games. That's physically impossible.
And that's the thing too. Like you don't want to risk it because throughout 162 games, because we've seen guys, either
guys get hurt over, just by swinging the bat or injuring their oblique.
And it also depends too how many days straight that they played. Because I mean, it's
and you can say okay, they need rest days. So I'm gonna take it back. They do need rest days. With the load management, I cramped up.
It's like if you're dealing with a cramp and the fact you have to sit out, let's say 3 games, it's like, first of all, that's ridiculous.
Like you have Kawhi sitting like 3-4 games straight one time.
Yeah, it's like
get out on the court and play. I don't care if you're cramping. It's just a cramp. Out there and play.
I mean, look, there's going to be a lot of players of the NBA always going to find a way to make excuses. Let's not bullshit. Let's not show. Let's. I'm going to call out the bullshit that.
What happened to players like Kobe when he broke his finger? He just popped that sucker back in and played.
Finished the game with the torn Achilles, and let's be real, that's not the easy thing to do because once you tore your Achilles, you don't have no feeling whatsoever.
And plus, he could have really, really injured himself.
Look at Klay Thompson, torn Achilles. What did he do? He finished the game strong before
he played. He played, and I commend Klay Thompson for that. He played.
Yeah, 2 game-winning free throws on a torn Achilles.
He said, "No, I'm going to shoot these free throws."
And then take me back to the locker room.
He was standing on a bad leg. He had to have been in pain.
Moments like that would definitely make Kobe proud because Kobe's the kind of guy when you really look at
Kobe would have looked at him and he probably would have been like, if it was an interview, he'd be like, how'd you feel about Klay Thompson taking those free throws? They probably would have interviewed him on ESPN because they know how he was one of the ones that was well known to have done that. He popped his finger back in.
Yeah, or the fact that one time I think he had a fracture, or he worked out on a fractured ankle in a walking boot. It's like
yeah. So it's well known. So ESPN would have probably interviewed him about it on these NBA shows. He probably would have been like, "Yo, I commend." He probably would have said, "Yo, I commend Klay Thompson for this. He's a dog."
Yeah, I mean, and yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, it was a torn ACL. That's right, it was a torn ACL, not an Achilles. That's even worse.
I thought it was because when he went up, you see the pop right near the.
I think it did come out to find out he tore his ACL at the same time.
Yeah,
and still. Right.
Oh no, that's the one. No, the one I'm thinking of was KD 2019.
Kevin Durant.
That's right. I always think wrong. Dang, that was KD 2019.
Yeah, it is. But obviously, going along with that, with this rule as well, because as much as I know we hate Adam Silver worth a damn, but the one thing he's trying to or determined to do is to get more player participation. Because I mean, look, no one really gives 2 shits about the All-Star Week or even the dunk contest. You had guys like Matt. Like the fact you don't want to have star players to at least stir some.
They really had a walk-on, a G League walk-on.
Yeah, Matt fucking McClung win the dunk contest because your star players.
A G League walk-on for Philly.
For whatever reason, it's like you got guys.
And he was randomly put in there, and we were like, "Who the heck is this?"
Exactly.
It was very random. I'm like, "Who the heck is Matt McClung?" Like what?
I mean, dude was fantastic to watch in the dunk contest. That should tell you.
I mean, whatever. I mean, put more random guys on there. I don't care, but because it's the All-Star game. I don't care about the dunk contest. I don't care about that.
Oh yeah, true. But
he's got a bunch of randos and I'll watch it. Like, it's just fun,
And obviously, too, I think the biggest.
Look at me with baseball, the celebrity baseball game or the softball game. They put a lot of random celebrities I don't even know there. And I'm like,
and give them bigger exposure.
They're having fun, whatever.
I mean, but hey, at least kudos because let's be real. Finally, they're actually doing something with the load management bullshit that's been going on. Obviously, what's now a couple of years now. I think it's been with this load management bull crap that we've been going on. But moving on from that, going to the college football, boy, if you're talking about poking the bear. Boy, Jay Norville, you done screwed up, my dude.
Bro, why are you trying to go after Coach Prawn?
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
He's not professional because he wore shades and a cap, but shut up.
It's like he said, "Oh, like that's not how
what is this? A high school? The guy's an adult."
And I think Coach Prime said it's like even Coach Prime had a few words. It's personal. Wow, and the most sarcastic way I've ever hear a coach, respond to that. And oh boy, that's
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right now. I'd rather all coaches be like Coach Prime.
Yeah,
because it shows the personality. He comes to the press conference in shades and a hat, all cool, calm, and collected. And then he cuts a promo style. He cuts a promo.
And they
lit up the gas on us. They didn't take us seriously. We showed them.
And see,
every single week.
And this is what you ought to respectable Coach Prime, because he, instills respect and discipline. Because
he does.
And for those who not really watched his time at Jackson,
not only does he instill respect and discipline, he instills in that mindset of believing in yourself.
Exactly. He wants to see you to succeed. That's what he wants. That's the end.
And that's why we love Coach Prime. That's why we love Coach Prime.
I mean, look at the clips that's been. And there was clips on him, say, oh, I think when he was still at Jackson State, he actually read also, you need to dress properly. It's like there's no slides, no white beaters and like that, not coming like you just won't come out of bed. He wants you to really look presentable and, and show you that lesson. Like we can't, hold yourself accountable too.
Dress with some swag too. That's another thing, because
the fact he gave out everybody's Coach Prime shades was also shout out
Coach Prime. You're probably not watching this. Can you put them for sale, please? I will gladly put them on over my glasses.
But yeah, Jay Norville, we'll say this too. It's like, and absolutely. Remember,
that's taking the Buffaloes from the absolute bottom of the Power 5 conference rankings to rank 18 in 2 games. Never been done before. Exactly.
I mean, have Shedeur Sanders almost
this guy, Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, is an amazing coach. And to think he never thought of being a coach for a while. I mean, it just happened.
I mean, look at it. He done wonders with Jackson State, and now Colorado.
Dude, he did wonders for that for
an HBCU school.
The black in HB, not only for HBCU schools, but for the black community, because that's a black college.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing stuff. And he put Jackson State on the map.
I mean, look, yeah. I mean, they had a very talented roster over the last couple of years. I mean, you have Shedeur Sanders, who, potentially could be a guy that we could potentially see in the NFL, because right now in 2 games is almost cracked over 1,000 passing yards, and it's like
this man is putting up video game numbers because of Coach Prime
at the college level, and
like what, dude? He's gonna be Shedeur Sanders. I don't want to call him Samuels every time. Shedeur Sanders. He's gonna be a tank in the NFL.
He really is, and that
if he ends up in the NFL, he's going to be a tank.
Exactly, that's what he said, and that's what he said. You talked to smack to Deion. We had times. Well,
you should have known this since the late '80s when he was drafted in the NFL. If you talk smack to Deion freaking Sanders, you messed up.
And obviously, as most of us college football fans say, and shout out to Kia, she even said this too. So let's bow.
Not only in college football, we saw in the NFL. He will mess you up on the field if you talk crap about him.
And that's what also with Deion too. What I think a lot of players are buying into what he wants. Like I said, not just when he wants to see the succeed, but he wants to see him, get degrees. Actually, want to go make him go pro, help him go pro. Like he's not as a coach, but he's like a big mentor. I
don't think it's just to go pro. I think it's basically like, hey guys, I want you to succeed at whatever you do. Not only if you go pro, like whatever you do. If you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer, if you want to be, a construction worker, I want you to succeed at whatever you do.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like a lot of coaches nowadays, with
some of them, I have to say, some of them they just phone it in. They just phone it in. They only talk about football. They don't talk about life like Coach Prime does.
Yeah, it's like Coach Prime is like not just the coach, but I know it's kind of a weird term to say, but he's kind of like a father figure to some of these kids.
I was going to say that. I absolutely agree.
I mean, this is why a lot of, he's, let's be real, should be well respected in college football for taking a team like the Colorado Buffaloes, who last year was, well, let's be real, god awful. I'm sorry to, like,
if I was a parent to a college kid, honestly, if my kid committed to Colorado because of Coach Prime, I would be ecstatic about it.
And what's also great about Coach Prime is like he wants to set an example. It's like, look, you can't be, let's say, I think he said it's like, there's times where he has like a meeting at 7, but you have to be there at least 5 minutes early. If you become after like 5 minutes, like if you get at like 7 a.m., he considers that late. I know it's weird to say that or to think about that.
He'd rather you be early. Here's the thing. Early is on time. On time is late. That's the classic saying. That's
absolutely.
The classic saying.
He lives true by that. And we've seen it right now in 2 games with the Colorado Buffaloes. These kids, Shador Sanders, not just him, Travis Hunter is becoming a monster. In the passing game. Look, everyone is doing the right things. And Coach Prime.
Everyone is doing their part on that field, man. And it's because of Coach Prime.
Look, I would let these kids have fun. When was the last time a coach ever say that? Let these kids be themselves. Not that I can think of it.
And here's the thing. If you let your players be themselves, you're going to win a championship soon. You're going to win one.
And I do think there's potential.
And it's also, I like teams like this too, because look at Philly in 2017. For the Eagles. They had that family vibe. They didn't have a team vibe. They didn't have like, oh, we're just going to work and we want you to be completely miserable. No, they were all like, yeah, we're happy and stuff like that. I'm okay with that.
And you see
because those are what that's how championship teams are made. They're not like, oh, heavy militarized.
No.
Be yourself out there, man.
And that's why I do believe I think there's a bright future with Colorado. I do think there's potential for them to win a national championship because
for sure.
Under Coach Prime. And what's funny about when Coach Prime,
I think within the next year and a half, they're winning the national championship.
I could see that. And what's also funny about
I see it.
And which is also crazy too, when Coach Prime got signed to coach Buffalo, he even said, look, I didn't get paid, but I could care for, in a way, he could care less about getting the money. He wants to win. And it shows first during a short time with Colorado, putting on some stupid numbers and in a good way. It's good, stupid numbers in that way. But moving on, obviously with the WNBA playoffs underway, obviously, we have seen the Aces blow out the sky. Right now it's the 1-8 seed. Later on tonight, you'll soon be back at it again with the Liberty and the Mystics. But the problem with the Mystics, we talked about this a handful of times. We touched upon it.
Dude, countless times. They're so inconsistent. It's not even funny.
And now they're going to be Shakira Austin going into game 1 of this series against the Liberty.
Dude, I don't know. I'm not going to beat around the bush too heavily here, and I'm not going to dive into this too heavily. The Mystics need to wake up.
Right now, you're playing one of the best teams in the WNBA.
You need to wake up. But let's just move on from that.
But 2024 for the WNBA, let's be real. I want to show you guys something. this is the prospects that's coming out for the 2024 WNBA draft. Got Cameron Brink from Stanford, Paige Buchers, phenomenal player. Unfortunately, couldn't play because obviously torn her ACL at UConn. Obviously, Caitlin Clark, we talked about that a little bit too, who is going to be disgusting. It's
another one that's going to be absolutely filthy in the WNBA. Angel Reese.
And
she's going to be a dog.
And that's just looking at this right here. Look, people say, "Oh, you got 1, 2, just 5." There's more stars. That 2024 is going to be a star-studded WNBA draft. Not with these 5 ladies, but who knows what other star players that are coming out for the WNBA draft, because right now it's going to be interesting to watch, because obviously really look at the prospects. For me, it's like I've never ever seen a draft class that actually had, in terms of the WNBA, really never had that much hype, but actually had some of the best prospects coming out. But the fact that you had 2024, you had Paige Buchers, who I've seen very short amount of time. Cameron Brink, I gotta watch more of her this upcoming season. Caitlin Clark, we all know what she can do. She is a pure scorer. She could just dunk a 3 on top of your head like it's very easy for her. No matter that's what
also Angel Reese, she can beat you in a multitude of different ways, man.
And showed in that national title game against South Carolina. But hey,
man, she's a dog, man. She's a dog.
I'm going to be very interested to see, and it's also too. It also depends on who's going to get the number 1 overall pick. For me, right now, because I think if you look at it, for the teams that got eliminated, it's going to be a battle between like the Sparks, the Storm, Indiana again, and Phoenix. Oh boy, it's with the Sparks, boy, Tobble very disappointing. It's oh boy.
No, I knew it was gonna happen eventually, Rob. I mean, they were losing like 6, and then they win like 2, and then they lost.
It's
there's like long losing streaks at times. It was just like they're very streaky, and I'm like, I expect them to bottom out very soon, and lo and behold, they bottom out. They're out of the playoff race.
But
they're gone.
It really is. But before we go into further in the show, we're going to give a shout out to our sponsors of today's show with SeatGeek. For those who want to go check out, go to SeatGeek.com, use promo code Philly Sports in all capital letters. If you want need to go to concerts, sporting events, wrestling events, obviously for those who are wrestling events coming into your area, I highly recommend you check out SeatGeek.com to save $20 off using the promo code Philly Sports. If you guys are Twitch streamers, YouTubers, wherever the case may be, or you need an extra kick in the rear end, that's all natural energy. Go to W.GG and use our promo code SportsWrestle10 to save 10% off your order. No matter if you're getting the tubs, the shakers, which is the cups, by the way, as that's what they're calling them, or you get the flavor packets as well. If you just need that extra boost of energy to get your day going, W Energy is the way to go.
And again, guys, with W Energy, it's completely healthy.
You got all natural stuff.
Yeah.
Also, if you guys are going out golfing, if you need some good, some really great apparel, go to shankagolf.com, use our promo code SportsWrestle10, also in capital letters, to save 50% off your order. And also too, while you use your promo code, if you have everything slightly over $100, you also get free shipping as well. Let's be real, you do not want to miss on that as well, because if you do, what the heck is wrong with you? But also, shout out to the Jubs Gloves too. For those who need to get their baseball or softball equipment in for a discounted price, go to jubsgloves.com as well. And also shout out to our newest sponsor making their debut, Stinger
Now,
Sport.
hold on, before you start, don't just go to judgegloves.com. Use the link in our link tree.
Which is
because that's when the whole promo thing that takes into effect there. If you just go to the site itself, it's not going to be in effect. Go to our link in our link tree.
Absolutely.
But continue, Rob.
But also shout out to a new sponsor that is making their debut, Stinger Sports. Also, as Sarah put it as well, if you're a baseball player, if you need to get some like a wood bat, batting gloves, different apparel, Stinger Sports is just the place to get it. Or if you're coaches need uniforms to be made for your entire team, Stinger Sports is the place as well. And you'll also use our promo code SportsRussell10. Save your 10% off. Go to StingerSports.com as well. And Tyler, any notes on your end? Any news on your side of things should we discuss?
Yes, I have plenty. I only have 2 here because I only wrote 4 things down. And I should have given you my list of like the power rankings. I have power rankings for week 1 down. I don't know if you have a list.
I do not.
Okay, so we'll probably skip that. Then again, I probably won't skip that because I will give I will still give my list, but it's okay that you don't. You can tell me what I like. Like if you have a difference of opinion, you can tell me and you can tell the fans here. But the first thing I want to talk about, it's a question that we both can answer here. Are the Jets screwed? Because if you remember correctly, before you start your opinion here and your take on this, if you guys remember Monday Night Football, literally 4 plays in, Aaron Rodgers tears his Achilles. 4 plays in, only on a sack, he tears his Achilles, effectively ending his season. And right now, they have Zach Wilson as the backup. And we don't know if the effect of Aaron Rodgers rubs off on him. We don't know. He did have a pretty decent game. It was decent enough to where he got the win for the team. 1 touchdown, 1 pick, whatever. It was decent to where he did get the win against the Buffalo Bills. But also the defense really helped out too. With that win, picking off Josh Allen 3 times. 3 separate times. But I want you to answer this question for me, Rob. Are the Jets screwed?
Well, it depends of what Zach Wilson's going to look like. But if Zach Wilson can win games, and when that defense can play as well as they are, and let's be real, that's a stingy ass defense, and I really like what I've seen. And Robert Saleh can coach. Whether you and
no, right now, I didn't like. Here's the thing about Robert Saleh. Before you continue, I didn't like his vibes. I didn't like his vibe after Aaron got hurt in the post game press conference. It was like, oh crap, we're screwed.
I wouldn't say they're not screwed.
I didn't like that vibe from him.
I'll say this. I don't think they're going to be screwed. I think it's going to be rough for them going forward, especially under Zach Wilson, because we saw the last couple of years. Zach Wilson isn't the kind of guy that is.
He's turnover happy half the time. But here's the thing, though. Did Aaron Rodgers mentor him enough in training camp, in OTAs, in preseason, to where Zach Wilson's like, I got this now?
Honestly, we don't know.
Like will he step up because he lost his roster spot to Aaron Rodgers? He lost his starting spot to Aaron Rodgers. So is he going to play with a fire under him, knowing that fact? That's the thing that I'm questioning here with Zach Wilson.
Because right now, because if you literally look at this roster from defense, look, the offense is there, the defense is stingy as hell, but right now the biggest question mark is Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson right now has been. That's been the thing for the last couple years. The quarterback. And yeah, it's
you had Sam Darnold, who wasn't the guy.
Yeah, can we?
Yeah. That reaction is warranted. Right? Sam Darnold, he was there and he stunk.
He was terrible. And
he was sugar honey iced tea. All right.
And it's not just from Sam Darnold too, but you also have got look. when we look at the entire franchise history of the Jets, the only one who has led them.
You had Fitztragic, who was good for 1 year, then the next year he stinks.
And you also had Mr. Butt Fumble himself for a while.
You had Butt Fumble from 2012 to 2014.
Yeah.
But hold on, let me continue. But now you have Zach Wilson, who had a really good start to his, Jet career. Rookie season was really, really good.
Ugh.
Rob,
I don't know.
No, Rob, it was a good season for him. He had a really good first season. It's fact. He had a good first season. The second season is where he started to bottom down. He started to not care. And he based and the problem that Zach will, and the reason why I said he started to not care was because look at last year. Pissing off every football fan out there.
Yeah.
With the press conference where he played terrible. He had like 2 or 3 picks in a game. He didn't blame himself. He didn't say that was my bad.
He said, nah.
He said, oh, I played great. The defense sucked.
Yeah, there was no accountability with Zach Wilson, and that's
no accountability whatsoever from the guy.
And
what happened after that? Robert Saleh. You're the backup now.
Yeah, I mean,
you're the backup. You ain't starting anymore. And we're gonna get Aaron Rodgers to come in. We're gonna get Aaron Rodgers to come in. And now with that, can he improve with the not caring? Can he care more? Can he, work on his accuracy issues that he had the last couple of years? Can he do it? And I feel like under the tutelage of Aaron Rodgers, he could. He has potential that he could.
And you saw Monday night. You saw it too. He's made some really decent throws. I mean,
he made some good throws.
It was like a 35-yard to Garrett Wilson, and nobody was
Exactly. He threw a bomb.
Look, and even though in his sophomore year was not the greatest, but you've seen some flashes. Let's
even last year you've seen flashes of brilliance from him.
But he's a very raw prospect, and that's the thing that's I've kind of would say that I really was not a huge fan of after you have one good year in college. You decided if you want to declare, but it's going to, and you seem because
and I have a problem with that too, because you're going to have a late start to your career, and that's what's happening right now. Will I call him a bust now? No.
Well, if it also doesn't work out for the Jets, because right now, I think he's easy.
If it doesn't work out for the Jets, yeah, he's a bust. But that's the thing. If he can play well, he's not a bust.
Because right now, because like I said,
he's young. He's still a young man.
Oh, he absolutely. And I was going to say this too. I'm not overhyping the Jets because I don't think the Jets deserve any.
Dude, yeah, they're not. I mean, with Aaron Rodgers, for sure, they're probably AFC Championship worthy. All right,
at least.
But with Zach Wilson,
I don't know.
I just don't know.
But
because he's never sniffed the playoffs.
We'll have to wait and see on that. So, but yeah, right now, do I think they're screwed? Time will tell. Right now, it's already been 2 weeks. It's right now we're in week 2. Obviously, give me about week 4, and then we'll see where the Jets stand because I don't want.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Give me about week 4, week 5.
Yeah, because right now,
if you don't develop if he doesn't get better, if he gets worse over time by week 4, week 5,
then they're screwed.
Yeah, they're screwed. If they start the season 1-4, 1-5.
Because look, we can all admit they play in a very tough division in the AFC East with the Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins, and the New England Patriots. And now the Patriots, they're going to be, but that's all I'm going to say.
Here's my thing, people. The Patriots, though. Here's my thing. People said going in the defense wasn't that great. They gave us one for our money.
Yeah.
a team with a good offense. They gave us a run for our money. I know it was week 1. We were rusty. I get that. But the defense ain't all that bad.
It's
just... And they said the front 7 would be bad. They weren't that bad either.
Yeah. And also
they took the best they took the quote unquote best O-line in football to their limit week 1.
Absolutely.
And so it's like, I wouldn't say, if they lose to the Patriots then they stink. I can't say that. I can't.
But if the Patriots, like say, if you go, because right now they're 0-1, because right now they got to play the Miami Dolphins. I don't think. Speaking,
if the defense gets worse against the Dolphins, then yeah, I will say if they don't beat the Patriots.
I will say this because the fact that Tua, let's be real, Tua feasted against and for those who have not seen week 1 between the Chargers and the Dolphins, we know the Chargers secondary is complete garbage. This
man had turkey. He had stuffing. He had chicken. He had the whole 5-course meal plus a feast.
Yeah, 3 touchdowns for 466 yards. Quite honestly, with him playing the Patriots, I don't think he's going to get. I think he at least 250 to at least 320.
I was going to say that. I would say about 250. At best, 270.
Because for me, like I said, the only thing, because like I said, I don't really want to touch much on some of these teams because we talked about most of the NFL and you can see it too. You know, the Dolphins, they really exposed the really terrible defense that the Chargers were bringing in, and with Bill Belichick, as much as you hate him, but the dude still is a defensive genius, and look at the talent defensively he has. Not the greatest, but they still played some really solid football. I will give the Patriots that. And offensively,
they did, and the Patriots gave us a run for our money, and that second quarter really showed it. That second quarter showed it. And I know it's because the offense stalled out for the Eagles, and it shouldn't have been as close as it was. But
what are you gonna
defense showed up and showed out on in that second quarter. The offense
just sputtered.
I was getting ready before week 1, writing off Mac Jones.
Because right now, that's the biggest thing to really talk about.
And the problem with Mac Jones, you said it on stream, week 1. Can he get the ball out faster than he did last year? He for sure did.
And also stands to the fact that he had actually a guy that has experience as an offensive coordinator in Bill O'Brien. Now, but really moving on.
He's one of those guys that's better as an offensive coordinator, not a head coach. Let's be honest.
And he's done well when he was the Bama's OC, and now but really moving on because, like I said, I wouldn't want to touch much more on this. Cam Hayward, Pittsburgh Steelers, who let's be real, kind of ate the dust in the 49ers, but he's out for 8 weeks after undergoing groin surgery, so he's going to really miss more than half of the season due to surgery, and that's going to be
also. I hate to, and I also let's fast forward here. I hate to report this news, Eagles fans. Avonte Maddox is out.
Yeah,
it sucks. It sucks because now we got to deal with crappy backups.
Well, Bradbury's making his way back this week, and same with Blankenship. And I think Gainwell should be back. But
Avonte Maddox is a slot corner. Blankenship's a safety, and also you have Bradbury manning one of the wideout spots. Who would you have to replace Maddox?
I mean, if that's the case, give me Eli Rex. I mean, where dude needs to play. I've always.
If they do some BS and they start Josh Joe,
I'm sorry, Mario, but it's not just that we have 2 wideout corners, but we also have safeties who can play in the slot. So, like, say when we have Blankenship could also play in the slot as well. And
then maybe we'll start Blankenship, maybe.
Because remember, we run a too high. Remember, Desai runs a too high safety, so we have a guy like Blankenship could play if he wanted to, could stick into the slot, or Terrell Edmonds, who actually looked impressive. But we got the personnel.
I would honestly play Terrell Edmonds at safety, maybe,
because you got a strong safety.
Whatever safety spot that's needed right now. He can play both. No.
And you also got Sidney Brown, who could also, like we talked about earlier.
Sidney Brown scares me. He scares me.
But
if I saw him running at me, I'm going to the fetal position and crying.
Because it's what. But and I'll say this too. I've been very impressed with what Desai has done in his first 2 games. As a DC. Now, yes,
I would. Yeah, Desai's fine. Brian Johnson, I want to see more from you.
And it's fun. It was crazy enough, but since we want to talk about Brian Johnson, he's going coaching against guys that actually have experience as an offensive coordinator. He does it, and that's what the concern is. And
let's be honest here. Let's be honest. Thursday night, last night, we got carried by the run game.
Yeah, because Sirianni, I'm pretty sure Sirianni had a hand in the run game for whatever reason. That just gives me the gut feeling that most of that.
I'm about to just say, Sirianni needs to just say to him, dude, just stand there.
Because
act like you're calling plays
as an offensive coordinator.
Like, I will relay a play call to you. You say it to the receiver, or you say that to the quarterback.
Or in this case, let Jalen Hurts do it. Let Jalen Hurts call his own plays, for crying out loud. That's
kind of too erratic. I don't want that. This ain't Madden, Rob. This ain't Madden. All right, let's not do that. Let's have Sirianni call the plays. He did it last year.
And worked out for us pretty well in the end.
Do you think Steichen did a lot for that team? Nope.
But he did.
Sirianni was calling the plays.
But Steichen did, I would say, had a bit of a hand in the creativity of some of the plays that we had last year. So you got to at least give.
Playbook was kind of his, but the playbook, the playbook. There's something. The problem with Brian Johnson, he doesn't open a playbook fully.
Exactly.
Now Steichen. Expansive playbook.
Yeah, you saw it during their game against Jacksonville. Because the thing about it is, I actually want to touch upon that a little bit, because I was like, oh, this is not, because I actually had concerns with Anthony Richardson going into week 1. It's like, oh, I feel this is going to be an ugly start for Anthony Richardson.
But here's the thing. I had faith because of the coach, Steichen. For me, I feel like Steichen will be a tremendous head coach for the Colts.
For Indy. Because right now, for me, it's the O-line I'm concerned about.
And the funny thing is, offensive-minded coaches that we had ended up being good coaches for the Colts. Like what? And yes, I'm calling Frank Reich a good coach. Because he was a scapegoat for Indy. I'm sorry, I'm saying it.
Yeah, he did what he could. Look at the crap he had to deal with. Matt freaking Ryan, of all goddamn people, and you had to deal with, and Carson Wentz didn't really succeed.
Not only Matt Ryan, an aging Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
He also had to deal with the basket case Carson Wentz, like you said.
And it's not just that too. He also had to deal with 1 year of Phillip Rivers under center as well. So yeah, the quarterback choices.
Here's the thing, though. For 1 year, Phillip Rivers was good. They made the playoffs, 11-5.
They actually had a really good team. The O-line was actually played solid, but for whatever
reason.
The thing
is, after that season, Phillip Rivers retired. They whipped on a quarterback.
That's probably they have not got their quarterback straight since Andrew Luck, and oh boy, and how our thoughts on that were. But we're not really going to.
Dude, when he retired, I was bummed out, but pissed at the Colts organization for screwing him up as bad as they did.
You actually have a decent O line after he retires. It's like, now you want to fix up your O line? Eh? You could have done that.
Now you want to do it after you almost you made one of your you made your superstar quarterback retire
because of your incompetence.
Like, oh my god, bro! Like
And
that was
honestly,
stupid.
that's more. Look, me and Sarno, we know how it. We're not going to bring Chris Bauer because look, Bauer can do what he can do with what you know. But this is on Ursay for whatever reason doesn't know what the heck he's at most like 100% of the time.
It's always Jim Irsay, man. Always Jim Irsay.
But really moving on because, like I said, we're not really because we don't really touch on much because as well. But going a little bit into some baseball as well. Atlanta clinched their 6th straight division title
against us. God dang it! I know.
But like I said, as much as I hate them as a division rival, I can always respect the talent where I see it. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I said it too. I'm like, if we lose the series to the Braves, so what? Because they're absolutely superior to us, or they're inferior.
They're the best team in the National League.
They're the best team. Yeah, they're best team in the National League right now.
I'm 100%. It's
and they should beat us, and they did. And do I think that we'll make the playoffs and we're fine? Yes, I do. I do think that. And you may have a different outlook. I saw your face. You might have a different outlook, and you might think, "Oh, they're
a different outlook." But I'll say this too. But I'm going to touch more on the Braves a little bit. Yes, winning the division titles is great, but if it doesn't result in a World Series, we saw that like 9 times out of 10. That's a result in failure. That's a failure, regardless what you look at.
Look at last year. They should have beat the brakes off of us last year.
I've said on record that we should be losing 5 games to the Atlanta Braves.
We expected them to beat the brakes off of us because we're a wild card team. They were a division leader,
and unfortunately, it was the opposite. They were hurt. You had some of your star players hurt with Spencer Strider coming off an oblique, who, when he's healthy, he is nasty. But the problem is, it's just like
the thing is, we dealt with a hurt Spencer Strider because when he came back, we lit him up like a Christmas tree.
I mean, look, yes, 2021, they finally ended the World Series drought in over how many years? The last time they won one was in 1995. But
95 was the last time they'd won the World Series, and then 2021
which I don't think this is going to happen. If Atlanta still somehow falters in the playoffs for whatever reason, I could imagine how not say disappointed, but I could imagine how pissed most of that fan base is, because you have a team that could probably win like multiple World Series in a row, but even continue and
exactly, and they're seen by the media, the national sports media, as a dynasty, and rightfully so.
Because I mean, think about it. I mean, they had
this team should be a dynasty,
and there was years that they just completely falter. It's like, because I'm not saying, look, Brian Snitker, like I said, I'll give them. I think he's going to get manager of the year again, and rightfully so. And Acuna is having a fantastic season. I think he's on pace to be short of Ricky Henderson. I think the most stolen base in the season was right now. He's on pace for 42 homers and 73 stolen bases, which is unfreaking heard of. Well, not unless you have Ricky Henderson, that's besides the point. But Matt Olson too, can't forget about him. Yes, really strikeout prone, but the dude, it can mash. He's on pace to at least fall short of Ryan Howard. I think 100, because right now he's on pace for about $145 in terms of RBIs. Ryan Howard, I think he has $148, so he's going to be three RBI short if he continues.
He's great. He's been a great addition to them, a great replacement for Freddie Freeman.
Even though that really didn't sit that
didn't sit well for him. It didn't sit well for the organization. They didn't tell him. They didn't tell him.
Yeah, but
you don't tell your player that they've been traded, what? Or they've been gone?
But
they're not going to pick you up. But anyway,
all in all, that's pretty much going to do it. Because like I said, you're going to see. For those who are
no, we're not. Wait. I got one more thing. Remember, one more thing.
Lay it on me.
Power ranking time before we head out. Power ranking time. The first team on my list, the 49ers. The fact that you beat the dang brakes off the Pittsburgh Steelers You made Kenny Pickett look absolutely terrible on that defensive side of the ball. Brock Purdy is still Mr. Relevant. He ain't Mr. Irrelevant. He's Mr. Relevant.
And yeah.
And that offense just continues to wow me. Number 2, another obvious one, the Cowboys. Putting up a 40 burger. A 40 burger. Oh. And shutting out the Giants. Making us mercy roll our stream in the third quarter.
I regret doing that game now.
Dude, we were like, I'm yawning half the game.
Like, we were just so bored. It's like, I say, next score is going to do it. And boy.
We were like, yeah, next score, we're mercy rolling this.
Walks in and scores and says, you know what? There's the killing blow.
Yeah, we're out. Click.
But rightfully so, and yes, look, like I said, we can make an excuse because it's like, oh, you beat up the pitiful Giants. I could care freaking less about those excuses. But look, I respect the talent where I see it. Look,
and Michael Parsons, he continues to wow me, that linebacker position.
Westbrook Evan Neal turns out to look like a no pun intended giant bust.
Yeah,
Duke, for whatever reason, cannot block a defensive end. Where a backup defensive end beats Evan Neal. How do you let that freaking happen?
I don't know. I have no interest for that. I have no interest for that, man. But the 4th pick, or the 3rd pick, we have the Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa went crazy. The defense, I'd like to see a little bit more from the defense. Giving up 34 points, I got to see more of that before I can bump you up. But you're in the top 5. 4th, obviously, the Chargers.
I could see that.
34 points. You had a great game offensively, but again, just like the Dolphins, defensively, you didn't do good.
Well, especially under Brandon Staley, that's what. Oh, and
Brandon Staley, got to get better.
Horrible. You see, this is where I've talked with Chargers fans. The one biggest thing that the Chargers fans hated was they had Khalil Mack try to guard Tyreek Hill. Do you know how stupid you have to be to do that?
What? Dude, I want to talk about that right now. Because that was on my mind when I talk about Brandon Staley. You had a defensive lineman in Khalil Mack play a Brandon Staley, are you stupid?
I don't know. But moving
on. Oh my God. Dude. Khalil Mack, a lineman playing coverage?
Yeah, it's
like, are you that dumb?
But
Brandon Staley. Jeez. Anyway, moving past that, because that's gonna make my brain hurt if I keep talking about it. 5. You might say it's a little bit too high, and I would say I kind of see your point.
Lay it on me.
But I put the Eagles at 5.
You know what?
I put them at 5 because defensively,
I can't disagree with that to an extent because look,
defensively. Hold on. Let me finish my take before I get yours, man. Defensively, I see signs of brilliance. There are times where you can't do anything because you can't. The checkdowns, you couldn't cover. They got better week 2 with that.
Yeah.
They did defend the screens well last night. But they just they couldn't cover the screen passes at times. And there has been a few times where that the 16 points thing and straight points in the second quarter, but then again we chalked it up as defense being tired because the offense couldn't stay on the field for long drives in that second quarter. But I saw that brilliant, so that's why I have him at 5. Brandon. What's your opinion on it?
I don't mind that because I've seen other power ranks where they had the Eagles inside of the top 5, and rightfully so. Because, like I said, the biggest thing, like I said, take it away from this past couple of weeks, we've seen. Look, when Desai, making adjustments when when something isn't working. Yeah, we've seen it at times when we saw the defense look in week 1 against the Patriots. Couldn't really guard it, but once we started to figure out what the rhythm is, decide make that adjustments and going into week 2 as well against the Vikings. He's actually making the right adjustments to the point where defense, well, we know how lethal it can be. So I do like what I've seen. Now, yes, could have been a lot better in the last couple of weeks, sure, but then again, it chalks it up to starters not playing the preseason. There's timing isn't really the best. But there's a lot of things, and you've seen a lot throughout the league, not just from the Eagles side of things. But I like the Eagles at 5.
All right, now 6. I have the Patriots. The way that they had sustained drives in that second quarter, 16 straight points. I love what Mac Jones had done. He took that criticism. Oh, can he throw the ball quicker? He can. He most certainly can.
That, it's and there was one criticism was is he the future for the Patriots? Because after having a crappy year last year, people were
but man, he really showed the they didn't get the win in the win column. You could say they didn't play well, but they took us to the limit.
But yeah,
and they won off of a technicality by a rule. That was the only way that we had escaped with a win. We basically escaped against them week 1. Yeah. Basically. Week 2 for the Eagles obviously was better, but now the Patriots, they had a chance to win the game late because the offense was moving. That offense was in it. Mac Jones did not play like the worst quarterback in the league.
But yeah,
he was good.
Yeah, rightfully so.
I'll say that the defense, they did well, and people said, you had our friend Bobby saying, "Oh, that the offensive line isn't going to do well." The offensive line did really well. Was there a few times where Mac Jones went down? Yes, with a sack, of course, a couple times, but most of the time, he had time to throw the ball.
But yeah, I agree.
Number 7, the Jags played pretty well. Played pretty well.
I don't mind that.
Yeah, the one pick from Trevor Lawrence, I like to see him clean that up a bit, the turnovers a little bit. It was only one pick. He had 2 touchdowns. They got the win. Offense looks great. Defense looks pretty good. I like what I see from the Jaguars. I see them making the playoffs. I see that. Doug Peterson, great coach. Again, kind of like Frank Reich, he was kind of the scapegoat in Philly. I admitted that from the jump. All right, he was a scapegoat. But I like to see what the Jags, can accomplish, because they can accomplish a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
What's your take on it?
I like what I've seen. Like I said, there's some things that need to clean up, but you have guys, like Calvin Ridley, who's been impressive, and and that's another weapon that Trevor Lawrence can. Look, the fact he has, Christian Kirk, I had skepticisms when he first brought him in, but had a really good year with them. Evan Ingram actually had a much better year than what he was in with the Giants. Really nice, solid tight end. Look, I think that pretty much everything. If everything works out for him, I could probably look, because you all know that, because let's be real, the Jags playing in a crappy division. Let's be freaking honest. But like I said, I'm not really going to touch much on the Jags. I do think they're going to run that division basically, but that's all I got.
Now, the next one I have, because of week 1, they did have a decent enough game to where I think the Jets can crack the top 10 here. I have them at 8. They did have a good game. Came back to win. They came back to win essentially against the Bills. I have them at 8. They'll probably drop down if Zach Wilson doesn't develop. into the quarterback we think he needs to be.
Oh yeah.
Do you agree or disagree?
I agree. Like I said, we
Okay.
touched upon the Jets. Like we don't really have there's no more explanation on that.
All right. Honestly, I'd like to see more from this team. I have them high for a reason because I couldn't think of like any other team that could be in the top 10 right now. I have the Bills at 9 because they did stay competitive despite Josh Allen not having the best game. I have them at 9 because before this they had them crack the top 5. I don't think they're a top 5 team right now because of that first game on Monday night. I don't see it. Do I think they'll be better? Yeah, I think they'll be better. They're not going to be in the basement. They're not going to not be a playoff team. They're going to be in the playoffs. Now, the reason why I have the Bills at 9 is because Josh Allen.
He's very reckless.
He was very reckless with the ball on Monday night. I don't know. I honestly don't know what Josh Allen are we gonna get week by week? Like, will we get a better Josh Allen for the rest of the season? Most likely. But there's times where he's just reckless with the ball. Look at the playoffs last year against the Bengals.
Oh yeah.
You good, Brandon?
Yeah, actually broke my screwed up my camera, so bear with me on that.
Okay, but
there we go.
All right, good. But look at the playoffs against the Bengals. Granted, yes, it was snowing. The ball is slippery. But I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Number 10, speaking of the Bengals, I have the Bengals. And I cut them a little bit of slack because you have a guy like Joe Burrow on this team. He's playing with an injury. He's not playing fully healthy, man. And it's just like, will he be better over time? Yes. Yes, he will. He will be better over time.
Oh yeah.
He's Joe freaking Burrow for a reason. And I told you guys since the national championship game when he beat Clemson. I looked at you straight in your face, Rob, and I said, "This guy is league ready."
I mean, you see, it's like
I saw it in him in college.
The numbers showed it.
Not only the numbers, I saw the way he was playing that game against Clemson. Didn't panic, showed a lot of poise. He can get the ball out in time. Like, the game slowed down for him.
Exactly.
And it slows down for him in the league. He went to a Super Bowl already, second year in. Like, are you kidding me? And I knew from then too, this guy's league ready. He's gonna be fine, Bengals fans. He's gonna be fine. The offense is gonna be fine. The defense is gonna be fine. Everyone's gonna be fine.
Because right now, I mean, one can make the argument like because I've seen some potentially put Zach Taylor a little bit on the hot seat if everything goes wrong, which
I wouldn't because that'd be a scapegoat move. That would be a scapegoat move. But anyway, moving on here. Number 11, I have the Ravens. I like what I saw from Lamar, the offense.
It's just, can they stay healthy? That's the biggest question.
That's the biggest question mark for this team right now. Is health.
I mean, you already lost J.K. Dobbins, which I'm sorry, but even tell me the dude, look, the dude was great in college, but just cannot stay healthy, which is very unfortunate for him.
Yeah, we were talking about this on our Eagles stream, Eagles and Patriots stream 2 weeks ago or a week ago. Like, the guy just cannot stay healthy.
It sucks.
It does. And I bet he thinks it sucks. But I love what I saw from the Ravens offense. The Ravens defense is okay. But I like to see more from them if they want to crack the top 10. Because number 12, number 12, this really shocked me to even put this. Because they shocked me playing this game. It's the Browns.
Yeah, honestly.
The fact that the Browns defense blanketed the Bengals offense. The fact that you put up, 27, 28
24.
Points? 24 points against the Bengals. The Bengals of all teams who have a quality offense or a quality defense, mind you. Y'all are in the top 20 already, in my eyes.
But
right now.
The question is everybody asking, can that be sustainable? Because right now
they're in the top 20, but can that be sustainable? Because look at years past.
That's
they had Baker Mayfield, and they ruined him. They ruined him. They had, and like they can't keep a quarterback worth a life. So they've got to be better at keeping a quarterback around, and plus that quarterback has to be good for the Browns. That's the one piece they've always needed. Quarterback. And it's been that way since 2002.
Yeah, I agree.
Next up, I have the Saints at 13.
You know what? I don't disagree with that one because now, when you looked at this game
that defense, man.
Because I've talked about this once before because Dennis Allen right now, like if he can't make the postseason, there's been talks that people, a lot of NFL fans, really consider putting Dennis Allen, in one of those coaches that, if he can't get it done, it's time to find a new head coach, basically. And yes, I know it's not the best idea, or not the best. Well, I know it sounds like a scapegoat move, but you got to really look at the amount of times that the Saints could have win that division. Because last year, that entire NFC South is ass. It's been ass.
But here's the thing, though. They were running with Jameis Winston.
Yeah. I mean, you're overpaying a guy.
What are you going to do with Jameis Winston? Nothing. Now, with Derek Carr, if you're not winning the division with Derek Carr,
then that's a problem.
And Michael Thomas and that great offense of theirs that they've had, fire the coach.
The thing with Michael Thomas is he's got to see. Dude's been injury prone. Could not.
When was the
last time he played a full healthy season? It's been what
20. It was like it had to have been Breeze's last year.
Yeah, and that's not saying much because the dude's been injury prone. You have guys that I don't know.
It was Breeze's last year, the last time they had won.
And that was the thing too with questioning with the Saints. It's like, are they going? Because right now, pretty much Drew Brees is the New Orleans Saints. He defined what Saints football really meant in the Big Easy, and now it would have been nice to see him win a couple Super Bowls, but just he had Sean Payton. I mean, that really kind of his time there was not his latter half was not the greatest. But when you look at this entire roster, yes, and you look at the quarterback play. Who ask you who's the best quarterback in this division? For me, it's got to be Derek Carr, and I'm with the Carr slander. That's really annoyed me as a football fan that Carr getting slandered like crazy. Like, first of all, he was not put in the yes, the Raiders were not in the best situation to win games, and you really can't fault Derek Carr for being be stuck in a situation that let's be the Raiders are a joke, for lack of a better term. But even though I want to see more from the Saints, because first of all, that week one was boring. That was a boring win for me, and that's no disrespect to that's.
No disrespect. Yeah, no disrespect.
No disrespect to the Saints, but I want to at least some entertainment football with the Saints can't put on. I mean, look at when Drew Brees was still around, some electric football in the Big Easy. You can't convince me otherwise.
But here's the thing, it's not just for the Saints. That game as a whole was boring because to me it gave me the shades of like Super Bowl, 53.
Yeah,
when it was literally like 3-3 for like 3 quarters, and the first touchdown was like late in the game.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Or late in the fourth. Yeah, it was like a minute left in the fourth. Somebody finally scores a touchdown. It went like, dude, that was boring. But moving on from this, 14, the Packers. I love what Jordan Love brought in this game.
I agree.
I love it. Jordan Love, the successor to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, he claimed that he didn't want to teach this guy. That was a lie. You taught him a lot. Aaron. And Jordan Love, Packers fans, you got yourself another quarterback.
But
3 straight times you didn't whiff on getting a quarterback. Brett Favre, you didn't whiff on trading for him. You didn't whiff on Aaron, and now you're not whiffing on Jordan.
Even though
3 straight quarterbacks.
I mean, when you originally looked at it, it's like, man, that's a bit of a reach, but I could see. But then again,
I didn't think it was a reach. I kind of went, ugh, because they did the same thing
I'm thinking this is like the Brett Favre.
They did the same thing they did to Favre.
When Favre was even like in this later half, in like his last couple of years in Green Bay, put up some of the best numbers in this later half during his time with Green Bay. And you would think
bro played out of his mind, and he did that since I think it was since 95 to 2008.
And the dude even played a game after his dad died. Like the dude had the will to go on and put on a really good game after his father passed away. Do you know how hard that you have to be in order to do that?
Don't wait too long to eat it, Mom.
But
yes. But man, Jordan Love, y'all got yourselves a quarterback again, Green Bay.
Honestly, now, yes, it's week 1 because let's put the Bears suck. Sorry to my bully.
I have them pretty low in my rankings too. So,
it's just
y'all stole me on the pick'ems, by the way.
Yeah,
screw you, Bears.
Don't even do that again. I will say.
I didn't pick the Bears this week. Not doing it. Nope. Nope.
Here's what's the funny part is if they somehow win a game, boy, that's gonna make you conflict.
I'll be so annoyed if they win this week and I didn't pick one. Really, Bears. You wait till I didn't pick you? Okay, but anyway, moving on. The next team I'd like to talk about. I know it was against the Panthers, who were lowly. They're not great. I have them really low on the list because, it's the Falcons.
Honestly,
I like what I saw from that team. I love it.
I think I do. I like what Bijan Robinson. Boy, talk about the nastiest ankle breaker I've seen in football. Woo! Dude snatched his ankle.
Dude. Wasn't that the game where he gave an ankle breaker and then the two guys just ran into each other?
Flew right past him.
No, not just that. Wasn't it the same one where he broke 2 guys' ankles and got 2 guys ran into each other?
I think so, yeah. And that was for his first NFL touchdown.
That game, that play had me laughing my butt off at that.
Because here's my thing on that. Because when you and I covered the draft this past year, the fact they took a running back, I was like, what are you doing? Because you already had a 1,000-yard rusher in Tyler Algier. Now, yes, you have Cordell Patterson, who's getting up there in age, and who knows how much. But then again, I never really thought they would take a running back. Because yeah, Cordell Patterson's still a solid back, but I really never posed the question like how much does he have left before he, because at the time I never really thought of that. When you look at it at face value, yeah, it makes you question why. But now seeing, you have Cordell Patterson, who I think, like I said, still a solid.
I questioned it too. Like I was like, why'd you pick him up? You got I'm like, whatever. But like, I didn't take into account age either. But let's move on here because I got food I got to eat while it's hot. The Commanders at 16.
Honestly, yeah. The way I look at it is the fact that when they first started out, it's like, boy, they're making the Cardinals look like very good.
It looks like they're making the Cardinals look like Super Bowl contenders right now. What the heck is
like Josh Dobbs, like freaking like Tom Brady for whatever reason. Josh freaking Dobbs of all people.
But then they decided to flip the switch in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
Went crazy. I can't even say that.
But I've liked what I've seen from Sam Howell. I think he is the kind of guy that I do think if he can continue to play some better football, I do think they finally got their quarterback. Because I even said this too. I think after Kirk Cousins left, they could not get their quarterback situation right. Whether it's, I mean, I don't like to. Don't
after Kirk Cousins, after Kirk Cousins, they traded for Carson Wentz.
And when you had a guy, you could have had Taylor Heineke, and let's be honest, Heineke for whatever reason, I thought he actually was a solid QB. No,
he was all right. He was all right, but that was the problem though. He was just all right. That was the problem. Sam Howell, they trust him better because he has a huge upside. He does. This game proved it. Now I see why the Commanders chose Sam Howell over Heineke. I see why. I see the vision now, Commanders. I see it. 17, I have the Vikings. And I'm not basing this off of and I might put them lower because I don't even believe myself when I put that.
First of all, do you want to put your trust in the Vikings? Like I said, I like Kirk Cousins, even though thank you for the fantasy points last night. So
I'm going to move him. I'm going to move him out of 7.
Here's my reason for that. Because offensively,
that was a bold move.
I'll say this too with the Vikings. Offensively, I think the talent is there. Look, Kirk Cousins may not be the best quarterback option, but the dude's been Mr. Consistency the last handful of years. Look, the dude could put up over 4,000 plus total yards in a single over the span of 17
I just forgot what team I erased from 23. Shit.
Well, you actually should have read before you started erasing crap.
God damn it.
But look, yes.
Oh, the Colts. That's right. Colts.
I think the Colts. You know what? I think the Colts should be a little bit higher, in my honest opinion, because I thought they actually played
from 17.
I think at least where are we at? 15 or 16?
We're at 17. I literally erased that. So now 17, I have Colts.
All right, I'll hold my, but with okay. So look, I was just scrapping my entire reasoning for the Vikings, but with the Colts, here's what I saw from that. I've seen what now. Yes, Anthony Richardson's still raw, but if he plays, if everything goes well, I think he's going to have a really nice rookie year. I mean, look, I saw like Michael Pittman Jr. Now, yes, you're missing Jonathan Taylor for the next 2 to 3 games. Let's be real, you haven't really done much with him. The O-line outside of Quentin Nelson, who's one of probably the best guards I've seen, that O-line is still, for me, still questionable. And the defense, well, it's not terrible, but I think it could be a lot better than what they're showing. I mean, look at last year. You get your defense decide to completely blow a 33-0 lead and give up 39 unanswered points to the lonely Minnesota Vikings.
That was the most insurmountable comeback that I've seen in my life.
And
the thing is, I saw some insurmountable leads get blown. Look at the Miracle of the Meadowlands 2010.
Yeah.
That
Good
was
memories.
like what, 33-10 or something, and we came back and won, or 34, 35-10 or whatever.
Like that, yeah.
And we came back to win that game late with a kick return. It kind of reminded me of a little bit, kind of like how the game ended with the Jets and Bills. A kick return ended.
I agree.
But 33 to like nothing, and you gave up 39 to lose.
Yeah, and rightfully so. And most of the NFL world laughed at them for that. I say, and rightfully so.
Cracking up. I was literally on the floor, rolling and crying at the same time from laughing.
Because it's like, you know, it's like I don't know, but like I said, the Colts.
18. Moving on. 18. I have the Seahawks. The offense is fine. I will say that the offense is pretty good. The offense is pretty good.
I like the
because Gino played good again. Gino played good,
but defense was nowhere to be found. Basically,
oh my god, the defense sucked. Oh my god,
and that was the one downside. And I think I talked about this before. The one thing that and you saw last year too, their run defense stinks.
Oh god, they're even worse now.
Now you have Matthew Stafford, who I think when fully healthy is still for me is a top 5, top 10 quarterback easy in this league. Yes, he's up there at 80.
Stafford. Oh yeah, they play the Rams.
Because remember, Matthew Stafford had that neck problem, and
it kind of made us god, a guy who's freshly coming off an injury,
and puts up over 340 yards on top of you on a 17 point. Now, yes, this week. Yeah, sorry, Rams fans, you're going to get your ass blown out. Sorry, I'm just putting it out there. But
you know what? It's another mess up that I have. I'm putting the Rams over the Seahawks. Screw that. They're at 18.
Well, you might going to have to drop them lower after week 2 with them because they got to play the 49ers this week. The Rams.
This is week 1 rankings. Week 2 has very completely separate. But I'm flip flopping some of this because I'm looking at I'm like, dude, what are you talking about with some of these? Because it was like 3 in the morning. I was quickly going through the rankings. But next up we have 19. We have the Titans.
The Titans. Well, they're boring. That franchise for whatever reason. Like I like my favorite.
Here's the thing, they're okay, but they're really boring.
It's like if you looked at last year's top of it. I don't even know what to say on the freaking Titans. Look, you got Derrick Henry. I think I'll look back. But the problem is the fact that Henry's become injury prone. You have an injury prone Tannehill, and your backup your QB problem is, well, that's brutal. Less to be desired. And you
got Malik Willis
and an unproven Will
backing up Tannehill, and he played a few games and he couldn't throw worth a. Like he was bad.
And the fact that you were a consistent division winner, yes, you won your division, and you play in a crappy division along with the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Houston Texans, the Colts, and the Jaguars too. They
had a pretty good game this last game, but to me, I have them at 19 because they're just boring to me. I might put them at 20. I might put them at 20. Hold on, I might put them at 20.
Because who's at 20?
Lions. I have to put them higher.
I think
Lions are top 10. Lions are top 20 to me right now.
That's understandable. And speaking of the Lions, coming off an impressive, that's probably the biggest win that franchise has had in quite a long time, especially at Arrowhead, which is not an easy place to play, from my understanding, because you have a couple stadiums in the NFL world that are not the easiest to play because of how loud it can get. Arrowhead and Lumen Field up in Seattle. But the fact, Patrick Mahomes didn't really look like himself. Yes, he did miss Travis Kelce, but The fact it's not just
I wouldn't say that Patrick Mahomes didn't look like himself. It's the fact you had a bunch of receivers who had butterfingers.
And it's
that was the problem.
And yeah, and and also your defense was not really doing much. You were getting ran on. And that was one thing that was really working for the Detroit Lions. And you saw Jahmyr Gibbs of how explosive he can be. And David Montgomery, not really the best back, but obviously, yes, he is running back number 2. But he's still effective enough to the fact that you saw their run defense, the Chiefs' run defense was non-existent. You're letting two running backs. And yes, Montgomery got more of the carry because I guess the Lions put Jahmyr Gibbs on a snap limit. So, which doesn't make any sense to me, but that's besides the point. But regardless, though, I do think, last year showed that the Lions can be a legit team in this division because right now, the only team that you can see that's a basement dweller in terms of the NFC North is the Chicago Bears. Because I think this division is the Lions division to lose. But I think it was still a good win nonetheless. Goff, yes, he is still undefeated against Patrick Mahomes. I know that people are going to don't really talk about that as much, but Patrick Mahomes, look, did what he could. You have Rashee Rice. I like what I've seen from him, but it just really showed that I think the impact that Tyreek Hill has left behind. It's going to be hard to replace that dude's production. I like Sky Moore was very disappointing. You were targeting Marcus Valdez-Scantling multiple times, and for some reason didn't want to go back to him for whatever freaking reason. Doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah,
your thank you for that because that gave me the win in fantasy. Stop going to MVS.
but and now the fact that you brought back Chris Jones because right now Chris Jones was holding out because of a new contract and got that done.
He's back. Now he's back. So I feel like
now both Jones and Kelsey are going to be ready to play against the Jaguars, which honestly, I thought was a very fun playoff game between those two. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they'll be fine, though. Let's move on, though. Because, again, I got food I got to eat while it's hot. We got we're going to skip 19-20 because I flip-flopped. And we talked for both teams. I got 21 the Raiders. The Raiders had a really good game, surprisingly.
Yeah, shockingly.
Surprisingly, they had a really good game.
But what's also funny is about that too, they always had the Broncos number, no matter who you're asking. The Broncos seem to never really play well against for whatever reason, never play well against the Raiders. And the fact it was and Russell Wilson, it was okay, but
it was better than last year. Russell Wilson,
there was improvement, but I don't think Russell was. I think he's going to at least have a decent season, but I don't think he's going to be that all-pro season that we remember during his time with Seattle. Even under Sean Payton.
I don't know. He's getting older, so I don't know if he's going to, sustain this. But listen, the Raiders aren't going to sustain this for sure. That's why I got him at 21. They're not going to sustain this. But let's move on from 22 to 32. The last 10 teams. We got the Chiefs, but we talked about them. Butterfingers. They didn't have a great offense. Defense couldn't stop the run. There's nothing really else we can beat about. Talk about the Vikings. So 23 is getting skipped. 24, Texans. Now they've got a defense. They got a defense. Now it's time to build up that. Now it's time to build up that offense.
Absolutely, because yes, with the loss against the Baltimore, which was to be expected, like the offense, it's going to take a bit of time. Yes, you got Nico Collins, Robert Woods, still solid receivers in terms of Houston standard. Not the best by a lot of team standards nowadays, but for a young quarterback in CJ Stroud, who did not have a bad showing in his opening week, over almost 250 passing yards. And no touchdowns and no picks. So those passing touchdowns are going to come very soon.
Yeah, they're going to come. Yeah, defense played good.
When you have D'Amico Ryans, who knows that organization inside and out. Jalen Petrie, I really hope he has a speedy recovery after a bruised lung was the injury that knocked his Oh, that's
I remember. Yeah, if you guys can recall, when I heard about that injury on Sunday during our stream, I winced in pain so hard.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh God, a bruised lung." And then we talked about 25. Let's go straight to 26, and we also talked about 26 too. So let's go to 27. Because 25, 26 were the Seahawks Broncos. We talked about them too in depth. 27, I have the Bucks.
The Bucks, honestly, look, the defense I think is still a decent defense with Vita Vea to lead that part of that front seven. I still can't take Todd Bowles seriously as an offense as a head coach.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, to me, it's Todd Bowles, and also not a lot of people exactly trust Baker.
I mean, Baker is okay because right now, like the biggest storyline regarding him is like, can he still be a sustainable starting QB in this league? Because after his time with Carolina was very messy to say the least. And yes, you have Mike Evans who's shown his frustrations of not wanting a new deal, but I don't think the Bucks are going to pay him. And honestly, I don't think Mike Evans needs to get the hell out of there as quickly as he can. Because let's be real, Mike Evans is still a top 10 receiver, but he's playing, let's be real, on the wrong team. I'm sorry, when he's on a contender, if he can be on a contender, boy, look, I still think he is still going to be a consistent. And you also got Chris Godwin, who love the dude, injury prone as hell. Sucks to say, and I really hate to say that, but the dude can't stay healthy. The running game stinks, because for Rashad White, look, he took his regressing. Honestly, that's how our franchise progressed ever since winning that Super Bowl in 2020?
2021, I think.
Yeah, or whatever. But you seen like the downfall.
No, it wasn't 2021. It was 2020 because remember they blanketed the Chiefs.
Yeah, and the Chiefs were playing banged up at the same time. But we're gonna move on from that. But yeah, look, the last 2 years, 2.5 years, counting this year as well. The Bucks are still going to be the loneliest team. Crap! Yeah. I just had a brain fart now. What the hell was I saying now?
It's fine though. It's fine. They'll be in the bottom. They'll be in the bottom of the South.
Okay, I was going to say they're going to be a basement dwellers in the NFC South, and that's not
much. They'll be in the bottom of the South. I got what you were trying to say, but moving on. Got the Bears.
Oh,
what in the God name heck was that game? Justin Fields, he's all right. But the problem there, offensive line still stinks. The defense,
that's been non-existent.
They completely just might as well not put the defense out there because they don't even block. They don't do nothing.
Or it's like that Family Guy we say, nobody's blocking.
Or and then you have Chase Claypool not even trying.
That was one of my other notes I actually want to talk about. That was the last thing I want to touch on. It seems like we'll talk. I'll talk more on that. But yeah, the Bears.
Later, we'll talk about that later on like a different video if it continues. But he's phoning it in this game. You can't do that.
Boy, and it's because I even said
he had more effort doing a flop than playing in this game.
Yeah, and it's like, and Tyler could have tells me. I've said I think this team, like me and Tyler said on paper, if this team could execute, could be an 8-9 team, but that'll still be good for fourth in the NFC North. But the problem that I see is I barely don't think even he gets 8 wins. Right now, I can see 6-11 at best.
I don't even see that. I see maybe 4.
Yeah, 4. There's going to be another 4-13 season, and yes, I see some where problems lie. I mean, look, Luke Getsy's not really the best offensive coordinator, and Matt Eberflus is not really doing much to really. Because let's be real, it's like the Bears for the longest time in the franchise history, yes, won the Super Bowl because they had a really stacked team in the mid '80s. Then you had the ownership and Virginia McCaskey, and let's be real, we don't have the most Bears fans feel on McCaskey.
You have Bears fans wishing this woman to be on her deathbed. That's how bad
it's a rough day as a Bears fan. I will have to say, because I even dropped a video about a couple of years ago talking about it. Them want to be the worst owners. Let's bro, you thought Dan Snyder was the worst owner of football? These were the McCaskies are the second worst in my estimate. Now that becomes the first, number one. Just because you don't want to build around Justin Fields. Look, I like Darnell Mooney's a number 2. DJ Moore, solid number 1. But you need a number 3, and for the love of God, that offense line is still freaking terrible. And the defense, well, you saw.
You ain't got no defense. There's no defensive players out there. None.
Honestly, if I was the Packers, I wouldn't hesitate to drop 50 points on top of the defense. I'm sorry, it's how bad that defense really is.
They're no trash. They're the embodiment of. They're the embodiment on the defensive side of the ball of trash.
And I feel bad for Bears fans. They got to freaking sit this every single year. It's like after 2018, they started going down the toilet. It's like it sucks, and I feel. And shout out my buddy.
And here's the thing: I'm not even a Bears fan. I'm frustrated for them. Frustrated.
Like, it's the fan, because think about it. You have not won a Super Bowl in over 3 decades, and that's terrible. Because when because like I said, and you have Virginia McCaskey completely gut the entire Super Bowl team out in 1986, and boy, they have not recovered ever since then. Yes, you got to trade for Khalil Mack from the Raiders. Had some really good years with them. You still had Robert Quinn. Look, prior to in 2018, they already had a really nice, solid team. Don't get me wrong. But after 2018, you could see where this team was heading. You know, obviously Quinn was getting up there in age. Same with Khalil Mack. And Khalil Mack was the way at the time, his market was going to command a ton of money for defensive ends at the time. And yes, you have friggin' Matt goddamn Nagy, who's not the sharpest tool in the shed, anyways. So I mean, I really feel bad for Bears fans. I really do. Like, you had this team is one of the other historic franchises. Just very disappointing, and it sucks to say, because I mean, look, you went to one Super Bowl with Rex freaking Grossman of all goddamn people.
That was in 2006.
And yeah, I mean, right now, outside of that, I mean, let's real decent quarterback this franchise has had. How did they say Jay Cutler? And I know that's going to really not say much, but he had some decent years with the Bears.
He had a good run. He had a good run from like 8?
Yeah, 08.
Like 2012, and then he just bottomed out.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're moving on here. We're gonna go quick here. We have the Cardinals at 29. I don't completely trust them. I don't trust them. They won against a team they almost won against a team that was.
Yeah, that's not saying much, because the Commanders. It's because I'll say this too. Like, you do not like the fact that the Commanders, or whatever they want to freaking call them now, whenever they have the rebrand or whatever it was, but the fact the Washington played so low to the Cardinals, that's terrible. That does not include Kyler Murray. You don't have most of your players. I mean, you let D-Hop walk away for nothing, and that was fucking stupid. And the fact you couldn't even decide on what quarterback you wanted to start week 1, and it took almost before the start of the season, a couple days before the season, to finally make up your goddamn minds and have Josh Dobbs. Yep. No, like I said, I don't think Josh Dobbs is a bad backup QB by any stretch of the imagination, but he's okay. But I'm sorry, and I do think Cardinals fans are going to have it rough. I do think I can see a 2-15 or 3-14 type of season of what the Bears had last year, and it's not.
It's not going to be pretty.
It's going to be ugly, to say the least. And quite honestly, we all know that game's going to be a 1-year wonder anyway. So I mean, but unless the Cardinals are stupid enough to give another year, we'll talk about that.
If the season goes bad, and it's all Gannon's fault, and they re-sign him, you deserve to have.
Oh, we're gonna roast you for
sure. Run of just bad stuff happening with this team.
Because here's the crazy part too. Because if you remember in years past, they were a consistent playoff team in the NFC West. They were one of the top 3 teams in the NFC West. But now,
they're bottom 5. They're bottom 5.
It sucks, man. You had guys like. Go back to the mid-2000s. guys like Larry Fitzgerald, who in my eyes should have won a goddamn ring with that franchise, but no, you had to completely crap the bed in the Super Bowl. And yes, you had
that Cardinals defense sold that last minute.
Yeah, and you could have, and Kurt Warner could also had a second ring, and it's like, that was a good Cardinal. And ever since then, Fitzgerald's going to go down one of the greatest wide receivers the Cardinals have had in their franchise history. They had some nice star players, but just for some reason could not win with them. And it sucks to say. He had guys like Kurt Warner. Yes, I know he was on his last legs in the league. But yeah, it's Cardinals fans.
You're in for a world of just misery.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. 30th, I got the Panthers.
Oh, you had the Panthers at 30th?
Yes, because they were bad this game. Bad.
No, true, but I've seen some positives. I like what I've seen from Bryce Young. Now, yes.
I know I didn't. I did not.
I mean, yes, he did throw a couple picks, but that's coming.
A couple of picks is what does it. You don't throw 2 picks and expect to win.
But like I even say going into this year, there are a bunch of question marks. And look, you're going to have a lot of growing pains with Bryce Young because people are going to make the argument that dude is not as small for a quarterback. But then again, it's like people don't really say it's the same exact excuse they have for when Kyler Murray came in of his size. But yeah, it's like I said, I would not be surprised this team could be joining the Buccaneers in the basement. If they somehow at least have a?
Honestly, they might be second worst.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, exactly, second worst. But if somehow the Bucs have a slightly better season than the Panthers, and that's not really saying much.
Bryce Young, the couple picks did it for me.
Yeah, and Miles Sanders kind of stunk, which is that's your fault for asking for But then
it's not his fault. It's not his fault. It's the O-line's fault. The O-line wasn't good either.
Boy, we've seen this. I'll say this overall week 1. Boy, teams offense. Some of the offensive lines of these teams, these just completely trash.
Yeah. But 31st, I have the Steelers. What on God's green earth was that game?
Oh, yeah, it's yeah.
Kenny Pickett sucked. The offense sucked. Defense sucked, and he lost 30-7. What was that? Oh man, it was atrocious. It was atrocious, and I got nothing else to say about that. And also another team that I have nothing else to say for the Giants, 32.
Oh God, can we?
0 points.
Really, and the fact they made NFL history and the worst pay possible. The fact you get blown out 40-0, you lose the turnover battle, and I think there was a couple other stats. There was like 3 other stats.
Here's the stats. Here's the stat for you. You lose in a shutout week 1, but that's nothing. That happened before. 3 things happened that had never happened before in the league's history. Defensive touchdown, offensive touchdown, special teams touchdown.
Because no team has never done that.
No team in league history. This is a league that has spanned generations,
over
years.
100 years.
This never happened. Over 100 years. And this is the first time this is happening, and it's to you, Giants?
All in one game.
Wow. You deserve to be at 32. I'm glad I put y'all at 32. Because that was the bane of like the worst performance ever. In league history. The worst performance. Ever. So yeah. Giants are at 32 for that reason. Because y'all suck. Week 1. In historical fashion.
It's it's not really the greatest, but
that's our power rankings for you guys.
But next week, it's gonna be some interesting other topics conversation. Obviously, we did a little bit Chase Claypool. I think we're gonna talk more of that on next week's show. Because that's a conversation that really needs to be had with Chase Claypool, and
and the whole not trying thing. That's
so we'll dive more into next week.
And to talk about you guys, we're sorry that we didn't have It's Real to Meet for last week. Sorry that when you have Dynamite this week. Hopefully we'll get more wrestling content out for you guys. It's just
we should have Dynamite. We should have Raw, Dynamite, and NXT coming up this week or next week.
Raw, Dynamite, NXT, and also we should have It's Real to Me on Monday at 6.
Mm-hmm.
We should have that for you guys. We're sorry that we did not bring that to you guys this week. Because Monday night we had Monday Night Football, I think.
Yeah, we did Monday Night Football.
And we'll give you guys this roll me on Monday at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, because the other two, look at the two other Monday Night Football games. No, thank you. It's
the next.
We got the Browns and Panthers. Was it Browns and Steelers? And they got Panthers on primetime television. Yeah, no, thank you.
No, we also have the Eagles Monday night.
No, wait, no. Eagles don't play.
The Eagles play Monday night.
That's in the second half.
What? Dude, huh?
Because in
the second half. What?
Remember, we played the Chiefs in the second half of the year.
No. Somebody told me that we got flex Monday night.
Yeah, that's with the Chiefs. We played the Chiefs on Monday night.
No, we got flex to Monday night this week.
What? Really?
Yeah, we got flex to Monday night.
I'm taking a look at our schedule.
Because I was sure we played Sunday. But since we played on Thursday, we got flex to Monday.
God, I'm really hating these short weeks. No, our next. Oh yeah, that's right. We played the Bucs Monday night.
Yeah, we got flex to Monday because we wanted like a 2-week bye a little bit.
Yeah. Well.
Like, it's not this Monday. It's the following Monday.
Oh, yeah.
So you're right on that regard. That I was confused there. I'm like, wait, we play Monday night.
I jumped ahead because we play.
I jumped ahead to
we have 2 Monday night games.
Yeah, and both the games this Monday suck. So I'm gonna.
Actually.
Yeah, we're not gonna watch Monday Night Football this week. There'll be some instances where there's no It's For Me podcast because, a Monday night matchup may look intriguing to us.
Yeah, it's us and Tampa. Oh God, look, I don't mind us on primetime, but really Tampa Bay on primetime. Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah, so next week, not this week's Monday, next Monday after this week's Monday. Coming up. So the following week, we're probably not gonna do the game.
Yeah, so
because it might be a blowout. I don't know.
Well, that's the 25th. So this coming Monday night, you got Saints and Panthers and Browns and Steelers. Yeah, screw that.
I think we should do It's For Me and forget about Monday Night Football.
It's For Me and the Monday Night Raw. I'd rather say.
Yeah, we'll do Raw. We'll do Raw for you guys.
Because right now you do not have the best options for Monday Night Football.
I'd sit there. I'd rather sit there and watch 3 hours of Raw than watch the two trash games that they're gonna show on Monday night. I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I'd rather watch Raw. So yeah, we'll cover Raw and that for you guys this week. But don't expect it every Monday because we do Monday Night Football on occasion too.
Yeah. So and obviously tonight.
And the thing is, with the influx of sports, y'all guys showed up and showed out to watch whatever. It grew.
Lots of others who actually hung out with me. Well, for the remainder of the Aces and Sky game, and I got blown out because after Dante called a mercy roll because it was. But I will be back.
You had to cover for him because he mercy rolled.
I told people who tune in, it's like I don't quit. If he put up over 100 points,
I don't quit. Yeah, you're showing your hypocriticism, bro.
Hypocrisy.
I don't quit. We can hypocrisy, whatever the word is. You showed your hypocrisy there. You want to know why? You quit during the dang Dallas Cowboys giant game.
I'm thinking to myself, like, it's like for me, it's like playing Madden on rookie mode, but all the sliders turned up, which I actually,
I swear it was like that. I swear.
it's, but hey, but we'll talk. Like I said, this has been an interesting show that we finally were bringing to you guys. Like I said, I think hopefully next week we'll bring you some more WNBA news and stuff, what like that. Obviously with college football and whatnot. But obviously next week we're going to try to introduce the NHL, especially from the Flyers side of things, because like I said, we don't really. I will definitely like I said.
And it won't be Rob alone because I am not pronouncing names.
Like I said, I'll definitely. Like I said, I've made a promise. I'm gonna keep my word on doing Flyers games this year. So, at least give it a bit of a new look. Because I know most of y'all hockey fans have been big. Mostly,
yeah. Everybody, every comment that I've seen in our sports videos, like, when are you guys gonna do hockey? When are you guys gonna do hockey?
Because I was we gotta do hesitant.
Hockey. We've been hesitant because of the name thing, because we can't pronounce names.
It's also fast paced at the same time.
It's fast paced, and like trying to call it, oh, this happened, like different moving parts.
Kind of reminds me of my brain almost 100% of the time. But hey, that's irrelevant.
relatable.
But yeah, and obviously, hopefully, I want to try to bring in some USC, but the problem is some of their fights are on the days that I freaking work, which sucks.
And honestly, I know we have ESPN Plus.
But
you still gotta buy the pay-per-view, even though you got ESPN Plus. Like, what?
That's so stupid. But hey,
so we're probably not even gonna do UFC. We're probably not.
But yeah, also Tuesday we're back at it again with another episode of SmackDown because obviously we had to push it back from last week because Mother Nature was kind of kicking my buddy's rear end, basically.
Yeah. I wish you didn't disclose that information though. That was private.
I said Mother Nature. But hey, look, it happens to the best of us. So,
but
ever since but actually, I want to give a shout out to everyone who actually hangs out with our retro watch parties that comes out. If you may not watch it, but you've seen the replay of it, like I said, we greatly appreciate.
We usually get like 50, 60 views on that, and for us, that's good. For us,
the fact you almost. Well, I'll say this too before you get out of here. Obviously, that idea is not an original idea. But because we did this once before in the past, but we didn't really.
Dude, I brought this up to you to do like retro watch parties because I saw a creator that her name is Weezy Blonde do it.
Oh yeah, exactly who you're talking about.
And I saw her do it. I'm like, maybe we should do that too.
Because given a different look, and yes,
shout out to Weezy Blonde. Thank you for the one of my inspiration to do the watch retro
100%. And obviously, our first pay-per-view coming up in 1999 will be Unforgiven. So you guys want to stick around for that retro watch party alone. And as Tyler would put it, he's seen the crazy crap that I had to see when I was a kid.
Bro, dude, there's been a few times where you see me on stream go like,
yeah, it makes you question why. But
I'm like, how are you allowed to watch this?
Hey, it is what it is. But that all being said, guys, make sure you check out the rest of our sponsors. I will definitely update the link tree later sometime this week.
And also, while you're at the link tree, you have merch.
Yeah, check out the merch. It's linked down below. Like I said, and also follow us on all social media, which is all linked down below. Like I said, we're very, you'll see this. Well, mostly me is very active. But if you need anything from the wrestling side of the Instagram side, follow my boy on Twitter, which is also linked. Is put in the link tree as well for all things wrestling related. But without all that being said, guys, this is going to conclude another episode of the All-Star Sports Show. This is going to be a completely weekly thing, whether if you're college football, college basketball, NBA, what have you, we'll talk about it. And obviously,
the only thing that we'll definitely won't cover is tennis and golf.
Oh yeah, well,
because I can't sit through golf. I remember one time I tried sitting through golf, I fell asleep.
Put you to sleep. Honestly, I do want to go back to. I do want to relearn how to play golf because it's been a long time since I feel like. Well, then again, but that being said, guys, I'll be back at it again for 9:30 for more WNBA playoff action. This time with the Atlanta Dream hosting on the Dallas Wings. So you guys do not want to miss that. Not on this channel, but also the Sports Wave Network as well. All in all, we appreciate it and. Peace out.
Peace.